up, sure, being a little bit like the dude, the big Lebowski, his dudeness, Al Duderino. And I wanted to review a movie that I saw last night. Someone said you should see this one. Okay, a found footage movie, new found footage movie, 2020 from 2023. Okay, why not? Called the unbinding. Now okay, first of all, this isn't a fucking found footage movie. First of all, this is not a found footage movie. And I looked it on IMDb and it says found footage horror movie, documentary. It's shite. It's not. Okay. Oh, I don't know where to begin. So you've got these two guys who are basically hiking up the mountains near the Catskills in New York, and they find a wooden figurine with a noose around its neck and 3 nails in every eye. And one idiot decides, oh, I'm gonna take this home. It looks nice. As if it was me, I would let that shit lay there, right? I wouldn't take that shit home. First of all, these scenes aren't found footage. And somebody's narrating it, and I don't know who the fuck that is. And then, of course, the shit happens, and then somebody's narrating again, and then at some point, you got some creepy moments there, like at some point a manifestation comes in the corner. He's standing and walking. The guy's in a room with his dog, and the guy who took the statue is in a room, and behind him you've got this manifestation of that becomes human-like, and what he subscribed it as a. He thought that it looked like a witch, an old crone with claws on her fingers and lightning eyes. Okay, and he gets the fuck out of there. He goes to his friend, and they decide to, get rid of the doll, but so they're on Reddit looking for somebody, and in response, a couple of paranormal investigators, and it's so on the nose, so extremely on the nose, that these two are representing the new Ed and Lorraine Warren. If you've seen the Conjuring movies, you know who I am talking about. Real life, these are real people that existed and had a museum in their house, basically the museum of the occult, all these trinkets and whatevers, and they had the doll Annabelle in their room too. By the way, Annabelle in real life doesn't look like Annabelle in the movies. They creeped it up a little bit. The real Annabelle looks like a fucking Raggedy Ann doll. I mean, and she said, I'm not gonna look at his eyes. I'm not gonna look at his eyes. At the Annabelle doll is. Oh, Jesus. Okay, back to the movie. So these are clearly the same people. The guy called what's the name of the guy? I read it down for this. Is Greg, and yeah, it's Greg, and his girlfriend is Dana. So Dana is a Wiccan or whatever, what they call it, a witch, a modern witch. She has a coven of witches that she is learning how to use witch spells and powers and all that shit. And in the entire movie, only in the last scene she does shit with it. She doesn't do anything with it. At some point, so they have a statue at her home, so shit's starting to happen at her home, and you hear the fuck. It's not found footage. You hear narration from the guy, the Greek guy. He's narration. When I entered the room, I saw something. Footprints. What would it be? Oh, it was so. And then Dana woke me with a frightened face on her face, and it was like she never looked so frightened in her face before. So what was happening was that the crone, full manifestation, was standing over their beds, and he just wakes up and looks at it like, oh, Jesus. And she's like, oh, geez. If that wasn't me, I would shit my pants. Come on. And then they go to, so they decide to at some point put it in a lock box with a lock, and so it can't really do, because the doll can move apparently. And okay, so they go to a paranormal convention where everybody who is paranormal or investigators go there, and there's a guy who wants, oh, you got the crone, I want to see it, please. He brings the crone, maybe they think he can help. He opens the box, the crone, everything starts to get fucked up. Chandeliers are falling from the ceiling, windows are exploding. A guy in a fur boot is getting what he thought was a seizure, but then you see the hands of the crone basically trying to squish his head, and that was a creepy scene. Blood coming out of the guy's nose, his eyes white, and he put it back to and the guy who said he wanted to see the crone said, sorry, I'm sorry, and the fucking guy, okay, it was a scene. And then 10 minutes later, okay, he asked this guy Jason to make a 3D printing out from the thing. I still don't know why. It's so boring and it's so complicated. And at some point, the Wiccan girl, Dana, puts, ear sets on in a something to darken or so she can't see and hear anything, and she hears the spirit that's in the crone figure. It's multiple spirits, and Midao or something is the crone figure, and then you have another few figures that are inside the figure, but they're trapped in the figure, not because of the crone. The crone is what he's is saying. She's nor evil nor bad. Okay, but she. A few minutes ago, she wanted to press a guy's head in pulp. She's nor evil nor bad. Also, she likes to take children out of their cribs, babies. Not killing them, but taking them out of their cribs. But she's not bad. Nor good. Not bad. Jesus fucking Christ. And the guy, Greg, he tries too hard to be like fucking Ed Warren. He's sitting there being interviewed, sitting there with his leg crossed, and like, yes, I know, ghosts. He deserves a punch in the fucking nuts. How he's sitting there, he knows no fuck all. He knows fuck all. Eventually, another guy gets involved, the Tyler guy, who wants to make a mold of it because he makes special effects figurines and this and that for movies and whatever, also for the occult, and he wants to make a mold of it, but without all the spikes, and he got spikes in his eyes and a noose around the neck. So what they are deciding to do is bring it back to the place where it came from the mountains, from the Catskill Mountains. And then finally Dana uses some of her Wiccan shit, her spell shit, sage and whatever, to, you know, cleanse the box, cleanse the, you know, and she gets phone calls, all messages from 100 people, 100 witches to be sure. Yeah, 100 witches that are doing at the same time the same spell that's under her coven. So this chick has 100 witches. She learned 100 witches, but she couldn't do fuck all the entire movie. When she saw the crone, her face was like, I mean, she was always like, I mean, what? Come on, please. Okay, she got a coven of 100 witches. They're doing the same spell, the same shit. And then the guy takes out the needles out of the eyes with every needle. So with this needle, you are free. Okay, with this needle, you're free 6 times. And the other guy, the Tyler guy who wanted to make a mold, he's there to loosen take the noose off. With this noose, you are free. And then they make the molds for the doll, and then they basically I think they threw the real doll in fire or something. I'm not sure what they did with it, the real doll, because they made a mold. And then after that, everything has happened. 3 years later, the guy, whatever made, he painted it, whatever, it took him 3 years to paint that shit. And then I'm thinking, okay, then you see them putting the crone figure in a display case with a card, the crone, and some information. It's so on the note. This movie is so, okay, where was the found footage? There's one guy that they introduced later on, and I'm thinking, who the fuck was that? Who the fuck was that? Maybe he was a camera guy. The shots that were taken from feet, from a moving car, that's not found footage, right? That's not found footage. And the fact in their homes, when the crone is doing shit, he's not there. You got a narrator. So it's not even natural. So you're not really... Oh, fuck, man. If a narrator is explaining all of that shit, it's not a natural scene and it doesn't make you scary, right? So frustrating. It was okay. So at the end, the crone is dead. The spirits are free, and that's what it was. And the crone was nor evil nor good, apparently. Although she wanted to squeeze some guy's head off, and she kidnaps babies. But okay, she's not evil. And then at the end, you see them sitting next to each other like the Warrens in their museum of the occult, and it's so thick put on this that they're the new Warrens. You know, that's the entire thing. They're the new Warrens, right? If you know the Warrens, of course. It's just it was boring as. There were a few scary moments in the first part, in the first half part of the second act, and even those, there were a few scary moments, but between those there were boring moments, especially when it's narrated. The fuck, no, and their faces when they're afraid are like, oh, Jesus. No. Okay, I do not recommend this movie. If you're a found footage aficionado, I do not recommend this movie at all. It has 5 to 10% found footage, and the only movie that I can recommend doing such shit is the the rise of Leslie Vernon, behind the mask of the rise of Leslie Vernon, because it's a documentary crew following this guy, this serial killer, becoming this serial killer, and at the end they have a conscience because they know what he's gonna do, and it has a cool twist that the documentary crews, so they throw the cameras away and they want to rescue them, and then it's real time, so it's not found footage, and it's not documentary style footage style anymore. And the twist is, the twist, girl, the reporter girl was the virgin all along. It wasn't those people in the house, it was her. He knew it was her all along. And that's so cool. And that's a good transformation from footage to real time. That, and I personally admit, I saw Lake Mungo the moment when the guy said, "Oh, I did it for to let you believe she's a spirit." The guy who made the special effects cut it off right there. I didn't like the movie. Same with the horror and the high desert movies. The third one is completely found footage, but it takes a hell of a long time before it gets to the tense and the atmospheric scenes. Yeah, no, don't recommend it. Do not watch this, or if you're so curious, you want to see this. Or, okay, I'm not here to, say don't do it. You can do whatever you want, but I can give you a guarantee. You're gonna be like, huh? Okay, okay, like, and where is the found footage? You're gonna be like that. I guarantee you 110 fucking percent. So please don't do it. Do yourself a favor. That's why I do in this channel. I'm not always doing good movies. I'm trying to do this movie. This I didn't know this movie, so now I can tell you. Okay, this new found footage movie, which is not a found footage movie, is really bad, and the story is lame, and there's nobody gets killed. Everybody's happy at the end. It's not even a horror movie at some parts. Some parts, but no, no. Guys, see you later. Hopefully with better movies, right? Bye.